Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. And today, we're gonna meet the Widowmaker. I know a lot of this stuff back here looks pretty dead, and a lot of it is. But thankfully, most of the dead stuff, it doesn't have too much girth to it, and as it goes up, it tapers and get that much smaller. We can see some deadfall here. Been down for a while. It's decomposed. Decomposition's been going on for quite some time. Other than this small stuff, there's our dead tree. Camp Evergreen's right there. But other than this stuff, everything is alive. During the summer and spring, everything back here blooms, including this underbrush that looks like nothing but, dead twigs on the ground. It's actually alive, very much indeed alive. Everything, that underbrush, it's in full bloom in the spring and summer. But today I want to introduce you to the Widowmaker. So there's Camp Evergreen, right? Stepping intrepidaciously across our deadfall. Ground's pretty sinky. The decomposition has softened the ground quite a bit. This actually is about as far as I dare get to our Widowmaker. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. That's it. It is completely dead. Like I said, I don't want to get too close. When you hear about people walking through parks and tree limbs breaking loose and killing them, people often say that it is sheer bad luck. It's not bad luck. It is your footsteps. People don't realize just how, the weight of their body. They don't even have to be morbidly obese. You really can't see it. We got some evergreen up there that's obscuring the top of it, but it's basically a dead finger sticking up out of the earth. And as best I can tell, okay, so use my hand here. So directly in back of my hand is the 6 o'clock position, and that's Camp Evergreen is the 6 o'clock position from my orientation right now, and the tip of my finger is 12 o'clock. We can see, use some forced perspective, it looks like it's cracking, like it wants to fall in the 9 or perhaps 10 o'clock position when it does finally go. The prevailing winds in this area, okay, so prevailing winds. I am pointing south, if I'm not mistaken. West, east, or north, north, east, okay. I forget. I know in summer, in summer, the winds shift, the prevailing wind shift. I think in summer, the prevailing wind is from east to west, and in winter, it's from west to east. So I really don't know exactly which way the Widowmaker will fall when it finally does go down. But yeah, I don't want to get too close to it. I am a large man, and you know, so that's our Widowmaker. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, because I'm not just simply introducing you to the Widowmaker. It's about 12 meters away from me, and it's about 20 meters tall. Yeah, in summer, nothing blooms. It's just wood. I think the woodpeckers have been added. There's a couple of red-headed woodpeckers around here. Anyway, I can't think about that. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. You know, we make our choices in life. Anyhow, switching topics. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I had big breaking news in regard to family. I guess I'll get you guys caught up on that today. So a couple of weeks ago, my phone rings, and from out of the blue, it's a person asking me, you know, are you Charles Dunbar? You know, is your mother's name this? Is your father's name that? Is yada yada. I'm like very suspicious at this point. And anyway, long story short, to keep our video short as we can, it turns out that it is my long lost brother, older brother, Stevie. And yeah, he just, I knew of his existence. I was told about him, you know, when I was in elementary, maybe even younger than that. Never really heard too much more about him. I never once thought that I would ever meet the person, but you know, I've tried finding my mother and my siblings on my mother's side a few times, but you know, nothing ever became of that. This was the last person that I ever thought that would find me. But yeah, they just decloaked. They said how they found me was kind of weird, but that's another story. So yeah, my brother. Want to meet him? He asked me if I have any pictures of our father. I don't, but dude, if you want to see our father, just look in the mirror. It's really uncanny. The resemblance, my God, he is the spitting image of our father. The hands, see, I'll cut my light back on here. Our hands, it's very similar. Our hands, very similar, and we are every bit. See if I can get this thing to focus. We're very hairless people. Yeah, you know, the hands, not a stitch. Oh my God, cyclists would kill to have legs as smooth as ours. I have very little hair, very little chest hair. He can't grow a full beard, neither can I. Yeah, cause got all kinds of scams going out there. Somebody calls you out the blue, telling you they're, you know, your long lost brother. Although I was very shocked, because like when he said Stevie, I was like, yeah, I do got a brother named Stevie, but he is way long lost. And anyway, he's several years older than me. He's in his 50s. So when he reached out to me, and once I was able to confirm that he's legit, once he sent me the picture, I knew he was legit. So he sent me the picture, and he introduced me to his wife. His wife, I believe she comes from the Virgin Islands, and they appear to be a very loving couple. I mean, they got that whole dress-alike thing going on. They look very, very loving. They seem to have etched out a slice of the middle-class American dream. You know, I'm very, very, I'm very happy for them for having done that. That's very difficult to do, to etch out a middle-class existence for yourself. So after, excuse me, after we made our introductions and get to talking, one of the things that, as he was talking to me, and he was very overjoyed, you know, that he found his family. He was, God, I got limited time, and I can't really give you a whole analysis of the whole situation, but you know, my father, when he was with his mother, for whatever reason, I didn't even know the woman's name. Like so many relationships, it didn't work out, but it was just so strange the way he just simply, my father just abandoned him, you know, pulled up stakes and left, like I told you guys before. Took my sister and I and just left Florida, and I don't think my brother ever saw our father ever again. And didn't know where anybody was. He fell completely out of touch with the family, and so I was kind of like a liaison to reconnect him with the family down in Florida. Well, that's where he's at, by the way, Florida. And so as he's talking, it kind of befell me the burden of breaking the news to him that our father had indeed passed away about 3 years ago, and you know, he was kind of broken up over that he missed, you know, all this time searching, and you know, if he had only had succeeded in finding somebody, me or anybody else in the family, 3 years sooner, he could have, you know. But like I say, our father was a very, very strange man. He was not one. He was not a touchy-feely person. I don't know. Maybe I am more like him than I would care to admit. Anyway, see, there's some really shit that I could easily say right now. It's like, God, that opens up a whole nother discussion about why my father seemed to put so much emphasis on me and my sister and not his other children. Because it wasn't just him. I think my father also had a couple of daughters. I think I have to double check again, but so I think he has some sisters. So I got siblings, you know. So I had to tell him that our father had passed away. Then he wanted to know everything about our father, and things got very complicated there because I would like to tell him, you know, I would like to recount to him a lot of wonderful family history that is just filled with warm family. Like he has a beautiful family. He has 5 boys. He's got 5 sons. I think a couple are by his current wife. And so that told me that I've got nephews, and I cannot begin to tell you how happy that made me. And I told him then that day when he, the first day, I told him while he was telling me all about the family, my extended family that I, have yet to meet. I had to stop him. I said, Steve, listen. I can't tell you how relieved I am that you have children. When my sister, I didn't, because my sister doesn't have any children and I don't have any children. So, my siblings on my mother's side, they have kids. So my mother's heritage, or whatever you want to call it, will go on. And now that I know that my brother Stevie isn't just a myth, he actually exists, and that he's got children, then I know that my father's side of the family will go on. They won't go on together, but the family will go on, and that's what gave me a lot of relief. And this part I did not tell him, because I already had to tell him so much bad news. I was very happy that my sister will have a sibling, a few siblings, not just simply cousins, but she'll have some siblings that when I'm gone, she'll still have a brother, and that is very important to me. They'll have to get to know one another. Rather than get all heavy into that, how about if I introduce you to my nephews? Let's see, who should I introduce you to first? Let's see, who's his? I think it's his oldest. I think. I'll introduce you to his oldest. Now, first I'll show you. I'll remind you. Cut our light off here so you can see. Now remember, this is, if you can get this thing to focus, this is a dark-skinned couple. And they were telling me this. They were, because they were saying that that my brother got a lot of teasing in the what do you call it? The what was it, neonatal or maternity ward? There you go. He got a lot of teasing from the doctors and nurses in the maternity ward because of the way his oldest son turned out. Say hi to Stevie Jr. The guy is super light. They tell me that his nickname is White Boy. And I mean, I mean, for Christ's sakes, the boy has pink nipples. I'm the one with the white mother. I don't even have pink nipples. But yeah, I can definitely see. If you can get this thing to focus. Look at it. He got the fucking grill, the gold in the mouth. The eyes. The eyes and the nose are a reoccurring theme. The eyes, the nose, and the lack of facial hair. Lack of hair, period, We're not hairy. We're not hairy people. That seems to be a reoccurring theme. And, like I was saying, I'm the one with the white mother. I'm not even that light. But, there's a reason. And what he was saying was that he was telling the doctors and his friends and everybody, there's a reason. Because remember now, my brother was completely detached from any part of our family. So, but he remembered our family. And he was like, no, you don't understand. My grandfather was white. I think I showed you this before. This is Jackson Dunbar, my grandfather. It's a very old picture, and it's a picture of a picture. He always wore light-colored suits. And the bulge in the pocket, I don't know if you can see it or not. But Granddad, he kept a .38. Our grandfather, my God. Jackson Dunbar was a piece of work. No two ways about it. They said that he had this thing that when, if you got on his bad side, when he went to talk to you, he'd put his finger right there in your face to the point where he's touching the tip of your nose. Apparently, Granddaddy shot somebody. This is Florida, and this is decades ago. And this is just my speculation. I can't help but wonder. I mean, he would put his fingers in the cop's face like that, in the sheriff's face, you know, uh, you know, uh, poking their nose like that. Um, I can't help but wonder if Granddaddy had dirt on the local sheriff. Maybe yes, maybe no. Who's to say? Um, my grandfather, for the most part, he looked like he was white. Maybe there was something else mixed in there. Who the hell knows? My grandfather, like my father, they all kept their secrets to themselves. They weren't much for sharing. They weren't much for talking. um, and apparently, he shot somebody. And yeah, Granddaddy didn't get arrested. Granddaddy got into the front passenger seat of the patrol car, not cuffed, holding on to that fedora, closing the door, stuck his head out the window. My paternal grandmother, I think her name was Ruby, but her family name, and down south you get family names, Tootie. And from what I understand, Tootie was as black as the Black Rider. She was a very, very dark-skinned woman. And it kind of accounts for, why I am as dark as I am. Anyway, he shouts out the window, "Tootie, I'll be back in an hour. You have my supper ready." And damn if he wasn't. He was back in an hour. Yeah, so, but like I say, that was decades ago. It's Florida. People got shot a lot. Anyway, but, yeah, I don't get into the whole scale thing. I don't have a problem whatsoever identifying as black. I suppose if I were to take one of those ridiculous genealogy tests, 23, me, whatever the fuck, it probably would come back something like 70 or 75% European or something like that. Yeah, just Tootie. She was an extremely dark-skinned black woman, and apparently my grandfather worshipped her like the night. He loved him some Tootie, and so anyway, yeah, and oh, before I run out of time here, there are a number of other. I'll show you my other nephews. Say hi to Maximus. That's a very, very strong name. Maximus. Maximus is 3 years old. Maximus is going to be tall. We do tend to be tall. This is Zion. Again, the hands, the head, the nose. Yeah. This is Ryan and his sister. The eyes, the nose. I mean, it's a very straight nose, and remember, you can tell it's Granddaddy. It's Granddaddy coming through. It's a very straight nose. Remember now. Matter of fact, I think their nose is straighter than mine. Yeah. My brother Steve with Maximus. What's that? Enchanted? Down in Florida. I guess he took him to Disney World. Like I said, he etched out a very nice middle-class life for himself. I'm very proud of them. Yes, I know, that's me. But I wanted you to get a picture, just kind of take in my facial characteristics, because I'm going to show you my next nephew, Ryan. Look like anybody you know? Of all my nephews, Ryan creeped me out the most, in a good way. I mean, my God, the eyes, the nose, the eyebrows, you know, the lack of facial hair on the cheeks. Dude, it's me. It's like an alternate reality version of me. You know, it's like me from one of those parallel dimensions. It's wild, man. Wild. Yeah, yeah. Is it like the heterosexual version of me? But yeah, I'm glad that the family will go on. That's very good to know. So yeah, guys, like I said, I had to kind of, Steve wanted to know everything about my father. One of the things that he wanted to know was, how come you didn't stay with Dad? Because I was trying hard not to bum him out with very sad stories about our father. My father didn't like me. Why didn't he like you? Steve, we just didn't get along, man. Why didn't he get, you know, you know, uh, our sister's in adult foster care for the rest of her life. Why? Well, our father brutalized her, so, my brother Steve, he seemed very, very gung-ho about having found me, and my sister. He was even reaching out to his side of the family and his family's friends to call, because I did tell him, I did share with him that I was homeless. I tried to share some of the whole court case saga controversy. I didn't really want to get too deep because, frankly, there's nothing that he can do. There's nothing anybody can do at this point. Um, there's nothing anybody can do. And I was trying to make it as happy of a reunion as I possibly could, working with what I had. Our father was a brutal drunk. I'm homeless. Our sister is in adult foster care. I did put him in contact with my aunts and everybody and the family down south. I'm sure they probably shared with him a more fictionalized version of our father. They seem to idolize my father. Uncle Charlie. My father's name was Charles. Uncle Charlie, oh my God, he was they like to brag a lot about his nursing credentials, and that was another thing that kind of became, so questionable, that my brother wanted to know, well, if he worked, because I was like telling him and not trying to tell him the kind of poverty conditions that our father had us living in, despite the fact that he's RN, supervised the nursing home, and made all this money, yet where's the money, Pop? I mean, he paid for our education. Other than the Catholic school tuition, where did the money go, Pop? It was just strange like that. So, what can I tell you? I tried to make it as happy of a reunion as I possibly could. He hasn't really reached out to me. Like the first few days, he was like reaching out to me, texting me, seemed pretty happy. I think the family, I'm pretty sure the family know about this YouTube channel, and they probably told Steve about the YouTube channel. If so, hey Steve, all I can tell you, man, is that this is my life. This is what life gave me to deal with. But anyway, I'm sure the family down there gave my brother a more fictionalized, happier idolized version of my father that he probably was looking for and could latch onto, and go with that. Oh, let's see what time I got here. 30. Okay, got a wrap. And he probably could deal with that. And you know what? I'm not even fighting that. Good, Steve. If you are watching this, do that. Go to the family, get to know them, get to know our father through the family, because they can tell you a far happier story than I ever could. So go with that. Yes, and please get to know our sister. Get to know Jackie. She's gonna need you. She's gonna need you very much. And I am thankful that you came back into our life. I really don't know if it's good timing, bad timing. It is what it is. All right, everybody. So that's the family. And there you go. Take it easy. Total Control, 871.